Hey guys, welcome back to another video from yours truly, the Day-to-Day Gamer. Today we are doing another Skyward Sword video. I am showing you how to access the light tower and go on your way to recovering the sacred flames, I believe they're called. Which is, I think there's 3 of them. It's basically the next 3 temples, if you want to call it, in a Skyward Sword. So basically, right when you get back from fighting the imprisoned, you want to come to Skyloft and talk to Gapora, I think is his name. I don't know how to pronounce half the names in this game, to be honest. But yeah, so you want to talk to him, and he's gonna start speaking, because he's too shy, speaking the lyrics to the Song of the Goddess or something like that, which is the one that Zelda was singing earlier in the game, I believe. And he basically talks about 2 whirling sails that show the way to the light tower, or open the path to the light tower or whatever. And that's basically the only clue you get. So in case anyone is stumped or not sure what to do or doesn't want to cheat, you can go to the fortune teller. Although watching this video, I guess, would be the same thing. But anyways, this is going to show you exactly what you need to do. So we're just going to finish up this conversation, and then I will take you to these 2 whirling sails and show you what he means. So basically, there are 2 windmills in Skyloft. One of them, I actually already played with this one like right after I got back from the Lanayru Desert before I went to fight the imprisoned. I had actually found this pinwheel and started playing with it, so it was already in place. So I'm going to cut it. I basically have to do a full rotation of this thing now. So I'm going to cut ahead here. Basically, you want to get it to this point right here, so that blue shield thing lights up, using the gust bellows, of course. And then you want to find the second windmill, which is up top, but it does not have a pinwheel. So as soon as you approach it, it triggers this little scene with this guy who's got the Elvis hair. And he lets you know that the windmill is gone, fell below the clouds, and therefore you can't spin the windmill. Windmill? Wow. Windmill. So, I'm gonna let him do his thing in case any of you guys are interested in the text. Nothing too divulging or anything, but in case you guys want to pay attention without me talking, here you go. Alright, so, as he says, you want to go talk to Gondo, which is the guy who upgrades your equipment in the bazaar, and say yes when he asks if you have a favor, and he's going to start talking about this old robot he's got behind him, which you should all be familiar with at this point. You saw a bunch of them in the Lanayru Desert, the ones that get activated when you change to the past. So you could probably notice this thing behind him way earlier in the game if you were paying attention to the background scenery. So if anyone was, you probably knew that it was eventually going to come into play. Turns out his name is Scrapper. He has a name apparently. And basically we want to repair him so that we can use his abilities, which you'll see in a second. And the only thing that repairs him is an ancient flower, which you should have. If you don't, you basically ignored it on purpose, because they're in a couple of key places in the Lanayru Desert that you, like, literally right in front of you. So you just might have chose not to pick it up for some reason, not sure. But yeah, just go to the desert and go through some of the caves, or some of the areas where you can go through with the minecart, and you'll eventually find them. They're not too hard to find. But yeah, as long as you have one, he fixes the robot, and yeah, there's Scrapper. Now, I don't know if anyone's played Final Fantasy X for the PlayStation 2, but Gondo reminds me of an Al Bhed, like, big time. And I haven't played that game in forever, so the fact that that's the first thing that popped into my mind, I don't know if it's just me, but it just seems like it must be pretty good resemblance for me for that to jump back in. I think it's been years since I played that game. Anywho, so the Al Bhed here starts looking at this robot and seems overly enthusiastic about it. Basically what this thing allows you to do now is you can find things in the ground world and have them brought up to Skyloft by this robot. So it opens the way for a bunch of new side quests, main quests, and all sorts of things. So let's skip ahead here, and let's go down into the Eldin Volcano, which is where you're going to find the propeller, the windmill propeller. So you want to go to the temple entrance. Out of the 4 that you can drop down to, that's the one you want to pick, because that will literally get you right beside where you need to go for the propeller. So if you go anywhere else, you're just making things harder on yourself. Alright, so when you land, you want to, well, you can use your dowsing. You'll see that it's over there, so you kind of get an idea of which way to go. But if you go around here to that sort of like sand slide, you literally just see it sitting right there. So I came in here thinking it was going to be some sort of like long-winded quest. I gotta like do a bunch of shit that I don't really want to do, but it turns out it's literally just sitting on the ground, and you just have to just drop down and walk up to it. Literally takes like 20 seconds. So nothing to it. Call the robots and he will work his magic, which is basically him picking it up and carrying it up. Not sure why Link just can't throw it on his back. I mean, like, can that propeller really be much heavier than the shield and the sword that are on his back already? Those things usually have some weight to them. So why a cloth plastic propeller couldn't just be kind of put on his back and he just carries it up on his bird? I don't know. I'm not sure. I guess for story purposes it just wouldn't make sense. But I digress. So the robot takes it up to the sky, and you want to head back up yourself and head back to Skyloft. And immediately as you get there, it kind of triggers a scene. You don't even have to jump off your bird or land or anything. It just automatically does the work for you and lands you right beside Elvis. Nice and convenient. And there's your propeller. Alright, so after Elvis gets over the fact that that the robot was actually true, he's gonna try to mount that propeller back to the windmill and allow us to access the light tower. Man, that's some craftsmanship right there, just smacking a hammer right on top of the propeller, and somehow it sounds like he's banging on a wall or wood, when really it just looks like a cloth propeller. But, oh well. It is what it is, I guess. So after that's done, take out the old gust bellows and go to work on turning that windmill basically almost 360 degrees, just shy of it. You want to face that tower that you can see in the distance, which now you must know is the identity of the light tower. It's under your nose the entire time. God, this takes a long time. They couldn't have set it up like where it was already like ready to go. You just have to turn it like a quarter way. There you go. And that activates the mechanism or whatever is in here, and reveals a mirror with the Zelda, Legend of Zelda logo minus the Triforce. Not sure what that's all about yet. I'm kind of assuming the Triforce comes into play at some point. It was there at the Temple of Time, but everywhere else it just has the insignia without the Triforce. So. Alright, so I assumed I had to do a Skyward strike. There's actually a tablet thing behind you that you can read, and it tells you that you actually have to play the harp or play music. I didn't read it, so I'm trying to do a Skyward strike, which didn't work. So the only other thing, obviously, is the harp, and that activates the insignia. And I will let the musician here take care of the rest. I don't know about anybody else, but I absolutely love the theme song in Skyward Sword. It's actually probably one of my favorite Zelda songs. I mean, some of those old Link to the Past ones, like the Dark World theme and stuff like that, are great. And obviously Ocarina of Time, but that song is just, like, every time I hear it, just such a great song. But anyway, so the beam gets shot, and we have to go into the new area, the storm that's been all been there for a while. Jeez, can't even talk. And you're gonna find out what's in the Thunderhead in the next episode. Stay tuned, guys.